to Children's Sunday School. Thank you for joining me. I'm Pastor Arden, and I'm so excited to tell you about our Bible story today. If you remember, last week we talked about what we're talking about this month, right? And that's friendship. And friendship is showing other people we care with our words and our actions. And last week we read some verses from the book of Ecclesiastes where God tells us how a good friend should act. And today we're going to read a story from the book of 1 Samuel about two friends who were good friends to each other no matter what. And so to understand this story, I'm going to give you a little bit of backstory from the Bible. So God's people, the Israelites, they had been living in Egypt, and God sent Moses to help them leave Egypt and to form their own country in the promised land, the land God had promised to them. And at that point, they didn't have a leader anymore. God would raise up people who were called judges or prophets who would come and kind of tell the people if they were headed down the wrong path and say, hey, no, God doesn't want you to do that. God wants you to get back on the right path. But then the judges or prophets, they'd go back home. They wouldn't stay in charge for a long time. And so that system worked pretty well for a long time. But the Israelites started to look around and see that all the other countries around them, they were led by a king. And they said, you know what, that seems like a pretty good form of government. Why don't we have a king? They started asking God, God, pick a king from among us. Send us a king. And so God finally said, okay. And God picked a king named Saul. Said, Saul will be your ruler. Saul will be the king. And at first, Saul was somebody who followed God, who loved God, who did what God wanted. But over the years, Saul started to drift away from God and started to make bad decisions, and he wasn't following God anymore. So God said, you know what? Saul's not going to be the king anymore. The next king is going to be a kid I've picked named David. You guys remember, David is the same David from David and Goliath. David was a shepherd kid who defeated a huge giant. And God had said, David has the right heart inside of him to be king. Well, at the same time, King Saul had a son named Jonathan, who was the prince. And usually when you're a prince, you expect to get to be king next, right? So that's what Jonathan was expecting. But then he finds out that God has picked somebody else named David to be king. If that had been you, how would you have felt? Would you have felt pretty disappointed or frustrated or maybe even jealous of David because you wanted to be king? Well, Jonathan didn't do any of those things. Jonathan loved David. Jonathan was a great friend to David. And David ended up leading King Saul's armies. And so David began to get more and more popular with the people as he led the army to victory. And Saul began to get more and more jealous of David. And so Saul started plotting. He said, you know what? Maybe I need to kill David. Maybe I need to send him away. And Jonathan remained a good friend to David amidst all of that. Jonathan tipped David off when his dad planned to kill him. Jonathan tried to calm his dad down so he wouldn't act against David. Jonathan did all of these things to help David out. And eventually, Jonathan had to tell David, David, my dad really has it out for you. You need to leave. You need to run away. And so before they left, they promised to be friends forever. And this is what David told Jonathan. David said, go in peace. In the name of the Lord, we've promised to be friends. We have said, the Lord is a witness between you and me. He is a witness between your children and my children forever. Isn't that amazing that even though David and Jonathan had every reason to be enemies, instead they were best friends? And David promised to always be a friend to Jonathan and a friend to Jonathan's kids and his grandkids. And there's even a story later in the Bible where David helps out Jonathan's kids when they need help because of this promise he had made him. And that was because of all of the kindness and the friendship that Jonathan had showed him. So this is just a great story from the Bible that teaches us about how we can be friends with anyone, even people who maybe should be our enemies, who seem like they shouldn't be someone we should be friends with. We can be a good friend to them, and that we can love everyone, and that we can, as the Bible told us last week, that when we join together in friendship, we are stronger and we are better together. And so I hope that this story helps you think about your friendships and how you can be a good friend, just like David and Jonathan. Especially as we start back the school year, we get to meet new friends, new people. Hope this story can help you in your friendships. I hope you guys have a really fun day today and that you enjoy doing your activity. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye!